Recently, a federal judge in New York struck down the state's attempt to ban concealed carry on private property unless the property owner explicitly gave permission. This was part of New York's ongoing push to make legally carrying a firearm as difficult as humanly possible. Because, criminals are totally going to check for permission signs before committing a crime.
We don't need more guns on our streets. We definitely do not.
Governor Hochul launching a statewide ad campaign to make sure New Yorkers and those who visit are aware that while the Supreme Court made New York a new right to carry state, there are a slew of places where carrying a weapon will put you behind bars.
We don't need guns on our streets. We don't need people carrying guns in our subways. We don't need people carrying guns in our schools. We don't need people carrying guns in our places of worship.
This ruling came out of the case Christian v. James, where U.S. District Judge John L. Sinatra Jr. decided the state's ban didn't hold up to scrutiny under the Second Amendment. Sinatra pointed out that throughout history, there's no tradition supporting this kind of sweeping ban, and it directly conflicts with the right of self-defense. So he essentially told New York, you can't block law-abiding citizens from carrying firearms just because the property is open to the public. Now, if this ban sounds familiar, that's because New York cooked it up right after the Supreme Court struck down the restrictive carry laws in the Bruin case back in 2022. New York scrambled to pass this new law as part of the Concealed Carry Improvement Act, hoping to sidestep the court's decision. But here we are again, another ban, another courtroom defeat. Let me just say that New York is to the Second Amendment what termites are to wood. It just eats away at it, trying to break it down piece by piece. And just like termites, they do it in secret, hoping no one notices until it's too late. But thanks to the courts, we've got some exterminators who are saying enough is enough. Look, New York acts like it's a crime-free paradise where nobody needs a gun for self-defense. But let's get real. New York is Gotham City on its worst day. The city isn't exactly a place where people leave their doors unlocked and roam the streets without a care. In fact, if there's anywhere you should be allowed to carry a firearm for protection, it's there. Yet, instead of empowering law-abiding citizens, New York's government does everything it can to strip away their ability to defend themselves. And for what? To create a false sense of safety?
The new laws and our rules properly balance the licensee's rights with keeping the public safe, which is what we do.
Newsflash, it's not working. Think about it this way. When you're in a public place, like a coffee shop or a grocery store, who is in the best position to protect you? The police, who are minutes away, or the person standing right next to you who is trained or carrying legally, or your damn self who's carrying legally? This ruling says that New York can't assume every concealed carrier is a threat just for stepping foot on someone else's property, unless the property owner allows it. It's common sense. Law-abiding citizens shouldn't have to jump through hoops to protect themselves. The reason this ruling is such a big deal is because it strikes at the heart of what New York and states like it are trying to do: control. When the government focuses more on disarming citizens than on stopping criminals, it tells you everything you need to know about their priorities. They rather keep you dependent and unprotected than admit their policies aren't working. And that's why this fight isn't just about New York. It's about every state that's watching and waiting to see what they can get away with. If we let them succeed, you can bet other states will start pulling the same stunt. The Second Amendment isn't a privilege, it's a right. And a right doesn't mean much if you need permission slips everywhere you go to exercise it, especially when they don't even want to give you the permission slips in the first place. But now let me take a second to tell you why this kind of stuff makes legal protection so important. That's where USCCA comes in, who is a sponsor of this channel. Because let's face it, just because the law is on your side doesn't mean you won't end up in court. With the USCCA membership, you've got legal protection if you've ever had to defend yourself, plus you have access to training and resources to make sure you know your rights. I don't just recommend it, I rely on it my damn self. So if you want to learn more about a USCCA membership, hit the link in the description section and get covered before you ever need it. And even if you don't go with USCCA, just go with something. Go with anything that will protect you if you ever find yourself having to deal with the legal system after a self-defense shoot. Because I'm telling you, it ain't always as clear-cut as you think it will be. And everyone in the legal system is not on your side. Sometimes they're actively looking for your downfall. Now, at the end of the day, rulings like this one are a win. Not just for gun owners, but for anyone who values freedom. Because what New York was trying to do wasn't about safety. It was about control. And every time we push back and we win, we send a message. We will not be disarmed. Not in New York, not anywhere. So the next time someone tries to tell you that gun control makes you safer, just remind them of this. The criminals don't follow the rules, but we, the law-abiding, we follow the rules. And all the rules that they make hurt us and help the criminals. And that's why we fight to keep our rights intact. Because at the end of the day, the only people that will suffer are the good people. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now, you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together, we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.